Chile is a country used to earthquakes, but few people expected the shake-up that we've seen this past year. In just 12 months, Chile went from being an oasis of stability, as its president described it, to a country wanting to rewrite the rules. It all started when Santiago hiked its metro ticket prices by just 4 cents. It represented the tipping point, unleashing anger and resentment among millions struggling to make ends meet in a country that on the surface looked like it was succeeding. The demonstrations were largely peaceful, but clashes with protesters and heavy-handed responses by the authorities have marked this past year too. After a pause in protesting because of COVID-19, people have returned to the streets. Peaceful protests like this, and more troubling ones like this. Tension is high in Chile, and so are expectations.
In Beirut, demonstrations have taken place to commemorate the first anniversary of a mass protest movement demanding political reform in Lebanon.
1 year since the protests began in Lebanon. 1 year of rising and fading hopes. People came from different backgrounds and sects, commemorating a pivotal moment in Lebanon's modern history. A moment when the Lebanese people pushed for change, but were faced with devastating economic, health and security challenges. As they continue their march, they raise their voice with anger of a corrupt and impotent government who not only made the country poorer, but failed to protect.
Well, we begin with breaking news. A strong earthquake in the Aegean Sea has shaken Turkey and Greece.
Turkey has been struck by a powerful earthquake off its Aegean coast, causing buildings to collapse in the coastal city of Izmir.
Earthquake that hit about an hour ago in the sea between Greece and Turkey. This is new video that we just got in one of many buildings collapsing. It's just, it's stunning, the amount of damage that we're going to see there, yet to be.
Turkish media have showed the wreckage of a multi-story building. This is in central Izmir. People climbing in to try and reach anyone who might be trapped inside.
It seemed to be affecting both Greece and Turkey. So those two countries have both been affected. And now I think it is worth emphasising, this was a very significant earthquake. The magnitude has been estimated at something between 6.6 and up to 7.1. And the tremors going all the way to Istanbul in Turkey, to Athens in Greece. And some of the images we have seen of the effects of that have been very, very striking. Also, reports of these mini tsunamis occurring, of large waves coming into coastal areas.
Right now, concern is growing as the fish kill continues in the Neuse River. It's a story Nani Hussain has been following for weeks.
Lower Neuse River keeper tells me that the fish kill in those waters is something like they haven't seen since the 1990s.
It is heartbreaking to see any fish kill, and it has been really tough the last 5 weeks.
Katie Hunt's love for North Carolina's rivers and streams is part of her job as a river keeper, and says it's tough when something bad happens to something you love.
We have seen many fish kills, very large, but typically they only last for a couple of days or as long as a week.
Environmental groups like Sound Rivers and people who use these waterways are concerned.
It's truly an environmental disaster.
Back now with an update on the so-called murder hornets, the invasive species that could be deadly to humans and bees. And tonight, news of the first known nest in the U.S.
Looked like something out of a sci-fi movie. Futuristic beekeeper suits and ominous red headlamps in the hunt for murder hornets. And this morning, finally, a major breakthrough for Washington State researchers who have found where some of the elusive hornets have been hiding after decapitating and decimating bee populations. The giant Asian hornets, also known to humans for their painful and sometimes deadly sting.
Searing pain! These are the most deadly.
And with white protective gear, saran wrap, and a vacuum, they dismantled a nest in a tree.
Wasn't underground like these nests are normally in Asia. They're already exhibiting different behavior.
Still gotta read?
Entomologists using dental floss to attach an electronic tag to a so-called murder hornet that led them back to the nest, which they sealed off, then vacuuming out over 100 hornets. First found in the U.S. only several months ago, the giant hornets native to Asia. They can be deadly to humans, killing up to 50 people in Japan each year.
Here we are with just 6 days left until the U.S. presidential election, and yet there's another case of racial tension caused by the death of an African-American man, allegedly at the hands of police. We've got several videos that we're going to show you now this afternoon. This was the scene late last night. It's just blocks from the White House and the U.S. Capitol building. Two of the most important cities in the United States are enduring serious racial unrest. All of this breaking out overnight as demonstrators clash with police, both here in our nation's capital of Washington, D.C., and in Philadelphia, ironically, our nation's first capital. And yet neither one of these stories were covered by the national television networks. We, on the other hand, have been bringing you the stories and allowing you to see them really just play themselves out.
You also had a man pulled from a car. This is actually more too. We were at that strip mall as well, but this is a shocking video. This was police pulling a man from his car, saying that he was trying to run over a police officer, beating the car in, smashing the windows, pulling him out. It's amazing to see, when you're there the first hour of these protests, how they start peacefully, but then as the night progresses, it starts to get more and more violent. And I did see those, covering the George Floyd protests with you from the very beginning as well. Okay. The same thing.
All right, so how does all of this play out? And is the root cause of this unrest and police action, or is it something bigger than just what the police did? Maybe something deeper.